What would we get? 6 chair or 5 chairs? Six, three on. Oh my god. Hey! 6 chairs total, which means we need to buy 5, 3 on each side. Maths. Hello, everybody. Happy Thursday. Welcome to another stream. I hope you're doing well and that your weeks are treating you kindly. I am here in what looks like a very bizarre outfit. Basically, I bought this new top uh, the other day. Yesterday? Yesterday. I found it in the sale in H&M. It's a little peplum knitwear like jumper, but it's short sleeved. And it's really comfortable, but my arms are just too cold, so I'm also layering it with a hoodie because it's all I had at my immediate disposal. So if it looks a bit weird, that's what's going on, but I'm just a little bit cold. Today, we are going to head back to our house that we have neglected a little bit in the last week or so. I think the last thing we did in the house was try and mess around in the conservatory. And since then, I have one update to show you. I haven't made many changes. I've made one specific change, which is pretty big, but I think you'll be with me on it. Let me show you. This isn't my house. This is the wrong house. I'm gonna TP to the other neighborhood. Essentially, I'm not sure if you remember, but when I was trying to think about ways to expand the house in the last stream or two, I had started to be pigeonholed into making the house much bigger than I was initially hoping, because the vibe is meant to be cozy cottage, right? And we had the conservatory as one of the last rooms on the ground floor, and then I was trying to get a stairwell room nearby because it was the only point of progression through the house where we could start going upstairs. No matter how I tried to orient the rooms to keep them small and compact, the game wasn't letting me place a stairwell room because it was too close to the daylight circle room. So what I've done is done away with the fake greenhouse that we had attached to the kitchen. And now the greenhouse, the conservatory, which is kind of just turning into a greenhouse, is attached to the kitchen instead. So I came in here, I deleted all the like fake windows and sky that were here, because originally these two pillars were like where the wall was. There was a wall here. But I managed to move the conservatory into the back, meaning I had no need for my fake greenhouse, because now we have a real one. And I thought it looked really nice that you can be in the kitchen and then walk straight out into a conservatory area, which kind of makes sense given there's some potting slash herbalism type things going on over here. I placed a little bowl of vegetables. I still need to do a lot of work in this conservatory because the lighting engine stays being my worst enemy, and we need to make everything in this room dark to try and contrast the sheer amount of light that's going on in here. But I thought that made a lot of sense. It still felt nice and cozy. And now it means that once we come through the living room, we can turn right, and no longer is there a long hallway. We just have an empty stairwell room. So this is where we're going to be working today. And this fits much better in my head because originally there was, if we go into maybe the house editor, the layout, there was a long hallway room here and then a T-shaped room below, and then the conservatory was off to the side this way, and it was only then that I was able to put like an empty stairwell room over here, and it just made the house feel enormous, and I wanted it to try and stay as cozy and small as possible. Because big spaces are also just a nightmare to try and furnish, I find. Keeping it small is just keeping it simple, basically. Good morning. I love the new greenhouse placement. I feel like it flows better than the fake greenery area. Good morning, Lee. I agree with you 100%. Um, it it's kind of given me a second wind in terms of wanting to finish this room now because it feels like it's in its forever place. I poked around a little bit yesterday just because I had some ideas, but I didn't want to do too much because the point of this build is to do it on stream. So all I really did was place what was in the greenhouse out here. So we moved a potting bench. I put an empty one down as well, and then just some clutter items nearby. But that's pretty much it. I had to tidy this part up, and I think all I added that was different is a vase of flowers on the windowsill and a nice bench with a book. Had I had an extra like coffee cup or something, I would have put that out here too, but I have used that already. I think that's every update apart from this random little coffee station that I built yesterday. This came about very quickly just because I was in a super creative mood. I felt like building, but I didn't want to build something brand new like in the other house. And I had all these Kaffa coffee items from one of the endeavors that I visited. And I thought, I love coffee. I need to have coffee in my house. So I made this little fake coffee station. There's a little glass of steamed milk, which is technically an Araco and Alchemist's concoction over here. We've got a bag of coffee, we've got a grinder, we've got an espresso machine, and I'm gonna have to find myself another Kaffa, whatever that's called, endeavor to get a bunch more stuff because I'd love to like put a bunch of mugs on this shelf, for example. So for now, we just have a glazed Sindoro vial, which I made with Burning Crusade Alchemy. But otherwise, we are ready to take on a stairwell room, and I have finally made the executive decision that in order to keep the flow of the house feeling cozy and compact, I need to be brave and I need to build my own stairwell room because the default one that has the stairs built into it is way too big. I can show you just as an example. So that was an empty stairwell room. This is too grand, in my opinion, for what this house is looking for. And in a couple previous streams where we were doing housing, I did start off with this room, and we'd managed to section off every part kind of under the stairs to make them into their own rooms. I just think the stairs are too wide, and I think this whole escalation is very grand. So we're going to try and figure out a way to DIY it and hopefully make it cozier. So that is the challenge for today. How far we'll get, I do not know. We only have one option, which is the empty stairwell room, and it comes in this size, the same size as the one with the stairs in it. And we're just going to have to get started. So I'm going to customize the room first, and I'll probably just keep the same floor texture. That's annoying that the wood goes a different way. Could also do rugged, actually. That might be nicer. It almost looks like chevrons in parts. Maybe we can do that. The walls, what's the ceiling doing? Bulk. Should we just do a generic ceiling? Rugged. Oh. It's probably just oak. Oh, I should also figure out where the upstairs is going to start, so that way we have somewhere to aim for. What do you think? Should we extend out to the right where it's completely empty space, saving us any potential issues with placing room types further down the line? Like here. Here we can only place tiny rooms, which is interesting. I wonder if it's because of this. Over here, we have some more freedom. We can't place the daylight rooms, the outdoor rooms. I don't think we're going to use outdoor rooms upstairs. We've already used one downstairs, so I feel like it would be weird to make an evening circle room now because it's daylight on one side of the house. But maybe there could be a little bit of RP value if we were to fit an evening circle room near the bedroom, for example, or like build the bedroom inside an evening circle room. Maybe that would be cute. I think for safety, we should probably build outwards upstairs on one of these corners or sides, either the right side or the bottom side, so that we're not impacted by the rest of the house. So maybe here, just so it doesn't feel like you're continuously progressing downwards in one direction. We just put, I don't know, a closet room here for now, just as a placeholder, so that now we have a doorway to aim for when we make stairs. Now, what's the smartest way for us to start this? I could potentially do with going and buying some more platforms and everything first, but I've got 16. Maybe it would be smart for us to place the upstairs flooring first, do you think? Hey Dan, how are you doing today? Let's get up there with my trick that I learned recently. Oh, Dan, how's everything going? I hope you're both doing well. I hope Emma's doing well. I hope you're both very excited. We're probably just going to use the same platforms we've been using from the start. Something like this. It is very hard to see what I'm doing. So the ones leading up to the date. Do you have a, a due date? I imagine by now you do. Okay, and we need to be mindful that there's a big doorway here. Could we benefit from this being a standard doorway so we have more space? Yeah, that probably makes sense, doesn't it? Trying to visualize it in my head. I should have made like a floor plan before stream. Gosh, it's going to be quite steep. Unless we split level. Like if this came... Still very steep. Scan tomorrow. This is on pain management, which wasn't really needed. 11th of May is the due date. Ah, what a lovely time of year to have a baby. I'm wishing you both the best. How are you guys feeling? Nervous, excited? Oh gosh. Should this be standard as well? Or does this make it worse? I kind of like the upstairs being wide. And I can't say I blame her. Poor thing. I'm sure you're being a very supportive husband and father to be. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I hope she's managing to stay as comfortable as can be. What are we going to do? Because I'm just staring at some floating platforms now. I think in my head I imagined that the stairs would be open, but I'm considering if closing it off would be better. Because this room is quite big. Also, the stairs don't have to lead to this specific part. They could come out further. I think walling off is the best idea. Let me try this. We're going to use some interior walls. Let's maybe put this... This doesn't give us much space. It's weird. This room is huge, but then you go to section it off and all of a sudden it feels tiny. We put a doorway here. Stairs could go... Gonna have to do like multiple levels. Up this way. Up this way, up this way, and up again. So here, up here. So maybe 3 levels of stairs. Might be okay. Now how are we making stairs? Beam platforms, I imagine. Or... These cost... Okay, they cost 1 each. That's quite nice. I thought the budget might be a bit crazy on those. We could also use some tables with runners on them, because this makes it look like the stairs have a runner on them themselves. But what's this? That's 3. Well, I think we're going with just regular old beams. Just because I'm nervous about budget. Definitely going to need more of these, I think. Shall we do... $70? Gosh, it's hard to tell with stairs. 70's probably okay. And then comes the intricate work of trying to make them all even in position and height. That's roughly a stair shape, isn't it? I've been putting this off for so long. It's felt like one of the more daunting tasks in this whole housing project so far. This is okay. I'm seeing stairs. And actually, I think we're going higher sooner than I thought. So each one is kind of aiming to connect bottom left corner with the top right corner. That's going to help us. Sorry, I keep clearing my throat. It's going to help us align them as evenly as possible rather than just guessing. And then as we get closer to the wall, we could either try to make a kind of spiral staircase, or it levels out to kind of a landing. I was kind of hoping we would be like up here by then, because we kind of need to be like here. We're a lot closer to the wall than I thought. Ideally, we'd be here is what we're aiming for, more or less. Maybe like till the bottom of that beam on the wall. So we might need to scoot all of these across, including the door, just to make room for that. I'm fully making this up on the go, by the way, if you're wondering. It probably is, that's probably visible, noticeable. Maybe something like this. This will hopefully let us get to this point on this level of incline. And I have 9 of these left, so we're going to have to go shopping fairly soon in the stream. I can get some more platforms while I'm at it as well. I hope you guys are having a nice week. My stream schedule was a little bit different this week. Not for any particular reason. But yesterday I met up with my lovely mum. And we went for a coffee and we did some shopping. I was in the market for some workout attire because I'm fully conscious of the fact that I'm 28 years old and quite frankly I don't move my body enough for my liking. So I was hoping to try and buy some clothes that are more appropriate for exercise because quite frankly I don't really have very much. I've got leggings, but they're like cotton rather than lycra or anything, so not massively breathable. And a couple tops I was hoping to find as well. Which I did, to be fair. Gosh, this is very steep. Does she even run down them or does she fall? She falls down the stairs. I think they're too steep. And while I was out, I also managed to find a cute top in the sale, which is this one. So I didn't spend a huge amount of money on this. And I also found a nice cardigan in the charity shop. So I didn't spend much money on that one either. This is difficult. We're going to have to do it like this, I think. Now the steps feel quite short, but I think she might not fall when she runs down the stairs. I mean physically fall, I don't mean like RP falling. I don't really not an RPer myself, so I'm not too worried about that. But I don't love the fact that physically running down the stairs makes her fall from the top step to like the 6th one. Just means we're gonna have to use more and have a softer incline. I think. She still falls. Okay. That's just... I think that's fine. I don't think they're getting any shallower than that, to be honest. Okay. Where does the door go when it's standard? Maybe we'll have to go with standard because I think this is going to work better. Like this is kind of the same distance as this doorway to this platform. This platform to this platform should hopefully be roughly the same. I think that's the only way I can do it. Guess we'll have to wait and see. Before we get stuck into that, I ought to go and buy some more platforms. Careful not to kill the sheep like I did last time. Oh, it's a lovely sunset in the neighborhood right now. That's very nice. I'm here for platforms and beams, so I think it's one of these two.
My goods will serve you well.
Beam platform. We've placed 136 of these so far, if anyone's curious. That's not just in this house, it will be in the Horde house as well currently, which has the wedding venue in it still. I haven't taken that down. Let's get a bunch. Let's get 50. And we were also going to get some large platforms because we've only got 10 left in storage. I'll probably get 50 of these as well. Oh, maybe I need some doors. I think I'm using the elven door right now. Belemeth carved door. It's kind of the nicest, softest option that we've got so far. I'm not a fan of the kind of bog standard
I hope you find your purchase to be
wooden one. It's got too much metal on it. Okay, I think that's everything. I genuinely think at this point, the last part of the house we're going to work on is the exterior. And the reason for that is because the budget is so limited. I'm going to fix this just while I think of it, because that's going to bother me a lot. Let me line these up. It makes the most sense. Or it could be open. No, I regret that. I think the last room we will work on is not the last room. The last part of the house is the exterior. Because I think there's still no exterior budget bonus. I might be wrong. I'm currently house level 7 and like a third, I think. So maybe at 8 or 9 there might be something. I think 10 they haven't even given us anything yet. I don't think you can get 10 just now. But I'm sure they will increase the exterior budget because it's incredibly lacking in comparison to the interior. I imagine the reason for that is because the exterior of your house is shared with other people in the instance. So to try and take the load off the instance, they're limiting how much you can put in your exterior so that when people load up their games, it's not taking ages because someone's got, I don't know, 1,000 decor items just in their garden and there's 54 other plots that need to be rendered as well. That's more or less fine, I think, for now. A little bit ugly on this side, but we've at least sealed some gaps, and it makes more sense to walk straight through as opposed to on a weird kind of diagonal. Gonna just park that in the back. That one is probably fine there-ish. A lovely like corner detail on this one, but that comes with the room. Just try and sync it so that it's roughly equal. And hope it's not clipping on the other side. It is, kind of, but it's because I'm using the wrong type of pillar. That doesn't help. I've only got 7 of these. I should have thought about that. I think we're okay. Maybe this one... no, we need to size it up. Thought this might happen. That's a little bit weird looking, but such a tiny detail. I think it will be okay. Anyway, that's not what we're worrying about right now. Just gonna try and level them both because I've clipped them into the ground, which isn't helping them with not matching. That looks better. Okay. Stairs. We're doing 70, right? Yeah, it just looks a bit weird on this side. Maybe... Oops. Just gonna try something. The only thing that will fit in this gap will be a pillar. I'm wondering, do we adjoin the stairs so that they connect like where this pillar is? Or do we have one little gap in the middle, which I think I would prefer? And then have this as a fake wall. It's gonna have to be pretty large. But I mean, that kind of works. It's very tight in this space. Okay, we can do that. Obviously, it's not connecting to the ceiling right now, but we can care about the ceiling a little bit later. Okay. Now we're trying to go up here, and I'm just nervous that we're going to go straight past the entryway where that door frame is. We're just going to have to try it and see. We're not going to make it. Don't think. Could potentially afford to make these steps steeper than the ground floor ones, because you wouldn't super notice. And it turns out she's going to fall regardless, because physics. But just trying to give us a bit of a head start in getting to the floor upstairs. Maybe we need to go... It feels weird having a second landing, but I think I'm going to have to, because I'm going to miss the doorway right now. Maybe I've just had another idea. I was wondering if we can make another floor. So originally I was hoping that these stairs were going to go all the way up to here. What if there's another room? It's going to be very short ceiling is the only problem. Like another level between the ground and the top. Also, kind of funny that I was talking about keeping this house as small and cozy as possible, and I'm basically talking about turning it into a townhouse, but... I think we're going to have to move everything, because... I'm going to miss, basically. I mean, are we going to miss? Doubting myself. I can see the stairs getting, like, tighter as I try and bridge this gap. To be honest, I thought I'd faff with this for ages, so it's going a lot faster than I thought. We could potentially bring this down and then there be like a step up here. So it is kind of like another landing. think I'm going to compromise a little bit. I'm going to make the actual doorway here, I think, because that's attainable with the stairs that we've built now. And then we're going to make an asymmetrical doorway, which you won't notice once we place some walls. But this is going to work better, and it looks really nice because there's like the same amount of stairs on the ground floor as there are on this floor. That just tickles a specific part of my brain. Okay. So this is probably the last step. See how we go, adding one more. 70. Then yeah, I guess it can just go level with the platform. And then we need a step up. Is the only problem. Like one here, which looks a little bit weird jutting out into the stairs. Potentially. Yeah, that part is kind of annoying. So let's move this along and raise it up. So we want it like here. It's kind of a shame that this beam on the wall is cutting into the stairs, makes them look like a slightly odd shape. Okay, this makes more sense. It's pretty grand, honestly. They're quite steep, but that's because they've made this room so bloomin' large. Anyway, then I was going to use one of these walls, section this off, so that it doesn't even look like you can get through there originally anyway. And then this is a fake doorway, kind of. Details. Okay. Cool. Would we have a door here? Probably not, because it would have to fit in like this gap. I mean, it's almost there, to be fair, but I think it should be open. I was thinking we could potentially do the curved table trick that we did in the hallway downstairs and make it arched. Could even just use one, actually. I was considering using two. But if this goes over the top, just kind of gives it something. Although you've got to be careful on the other side, I find. Yeah. Okay, so we won't scale it up. Maybe it makes more sense that it juts out on this side. Then it's kind of hidden on this side. would it be heartwood, probably? Ah, that trim is like a metallic texture, regardless of what color you make it. Maybe it needs to be something like super dark. And it just doesn't make much sense. Other browns? I don't really have other browns. Ratchet rust. I don't mind ratchet rust. I'm not convinced. Maybe it does need to be two connected like this. Worried that this makes it look a little bit almost like a chapel or something. I don't want that vibe. What could we do? Curtains, maybe? Let me see a door. Definitely not that way. They're so thick, these doors. Super off-center. Guess we try and do it like this, if it lets us. Maybe it will do for now. And then you're into the upstairs, which we can figure out later. But for now, we've got a whole open stairwell room that we need to figure out. Interestingly, she didn't fall down the stairs. Oh yeah, she kind of did. The first time she didn't. Maybe I went slower. No? Yeah, it's weird. Sometimes she falls, sometimes she doesn't. This one looks much steeper, so she's probably going to fall down this one without fail. Now, I think we're going to block this off because, like, this looks not great, in my opinion. And it doesn't actually look very good to be open either. So I'm just going to make an executive decision and block this off. I don't know if we use a brick wall or if we... No, it looks super cold. Let's just use a normal one. That was easy. Although we've got clipping. I'm going to try and be super cheeky and just like push... Do we push it back or can we get away with this? Oh, we can. I was worried it was going to bleed into the room next to it. Okay. So then you walk into this room and there's a wall immediately to your left until you turn into the stairwell room. Then I think we have to block this off here. I'm literally mapping this in my brain as we speak. So if I'm super quiet, it's because I'm trying to visualize. Let's keep this archway open because I think there's too many doors happening otherwise. This room needs to look more closed. My issue is walls are quite restrictive in terms of how far you can sink them down. Unless I can shrink them, if it will let me do that. Let's see how far it will let us put it into the ground. You see how it clips back up immediately? It doesn't like, it breaks the game somehow doing that. We can maybe start by maybe putting a wall here instead, like on this side. Where makes sense to put this? I kind of want to put it slightly away from the stairs and have like a banister. I think that might be quite cute. Just don't want there to be a massive gap. So we need to be careful not to interfere with the rest of the stairs. And honestly, I think we need a second one. Kind of flush to this wall for the sake of upstairs, so that you close that gap there. Originally, you could like see down this gap here, so we've closed that. Then, honestly, maybe I'm forced to put like a door or something here, or I can just try and seal it off with beams? I don't know. The issue with the stairs is now if we place like doorways or walls, it's going to clip through. Let's try shrinking this down. It's gonna look a bit weird. It's not gonna be even with the rest of the room. I really don't want to put things under the stairs. So maybe this makes the most sense, is putting a miniature wall and then just 2 pillars, which also need to be sized down quite substantially. Clip check. It's clipping. Oh, that's the wall, actually. That's my bad. The pillar is fine. And then Annoyingly, you're not meant to be able to size pillars down, so I can't copy the exact scale of it from the other one. But I can hopefully do it by eye, because I'm just sizing it up until it marries with the ceiling, more or less. And I left a bit of space for the wooden beam on the actual wall. Come to think of it, did I even need to do that? Because I could just put a wall here. Is there any use for this space? Could be like a... This could maybe be a room, like a little storage room. What happens if we put a doorway room here? Does it clip? I think it's just right. That might look quite nice, actually. Ah. Maybe I can shrink it ever so slightly. Make like a little door. If it doesn't let us put a door, we could just make a curtain instead. That saves the clipping. Yeah, maybe we just do that then. I quite like the exposed stairs under the ceiling. Okay, we're getting somewhere. Before we continue, I'm just going to take a short break while there is an ad, so I will see you shortly. Alrighty. What's next? We have a little storage cupboard under the stairs. There is a tiny gap there, which our budget is 3180. So I'm going to allow myself to seal this gap. Especially because I'm starting to think that by the time I feel like this house is ready for, I don't know, like a house tour on YouTube, for example, I'm going to have increased my budget. So these little things, I should just allow myself. I can also delete them if I'm in dire straits. Although, it's actually proving more difficult to seal this gap than I thought. Maybe something like this. You know when you just know it's there? Sometimes I'm really good at letting that kind of thing go, and other times I just have to fix it. Still no clipping. We have the whole rest of this floor that we could do something with. It would be nice to have a kind of overhang, like a landing that you could look over the rest of the room from, maybe. But again, it just doesn't feel super like a cozy space if we do that. Do some fake outdoor spaces, and we like making those. So that this isn't just a completely boxed in dark room. Let's maybe just focus on the downstairs right now. Nope, that's not gonna work. This is really bothering me that this wall is sticking out. I don't know if we can do it like this. It looks okay. It's a little bit clippy. But we can fix that. Fix the rest of it though. It just felt really strange that you walk through this doorway and there's a wall jutting out as soon as you enter. But I think we've fixed it. Maybe sink that there. I'd love just an extra pillar to cover this big, horrible kind of seam on the end. Maybe the flat one looks better. Only got 3 of these left. I mean, that distracts from the just bare edges of those 2 walls glued together, I guess. Sadly, I think if I scale it up to completely cover the sides, it's doing too much upstairs. It's just kind of clipping galore, so I'm gonna just keep it at its default size, I think. Just try to live with the fact that it doesn't completely cover. Because that just looks neater. We can put like some light or a painting or plants or something to cover and try and distract a little bit more. So then you walk in and there's a wall just here. Could potentially... I'm not mad at where it was actually. This space does not need to be big, so we keep it simple. It's a weird collision in this corner. Just cover that up a little bit. You're going to see me running upstairs a lot whenever we make changes near the stairs, because I would hate to make a ton of progress and then realize we need to undo it because something's broken upstairs. Okay. think we can leave that for now. Then this could either be just cut off completely and not turned into anything, or it could be a bathroom. We've not made a bathroom in this house yet. I've kind of been putting it off because it seems absurd to be building a toilet in WoW, but I'm not above it. I think there's more fun things I'd rather be doing first. um This is going to be a dining space, by the way. I don't think I ever actually explicitly said that, but we don't have a place to actually sit at a table and have a meal or host people right now. So we're going to come through into the stairwell, and before you actually get to the stairs, the open part of the room will be a dining space. I can't shift the desire to have some light, some natural light in this room. So I think we're going to try and place down like some windows. Skylights wouldn't go amiss either, to be fair. Maybe we could have a slanted ceiling and have like 3 dormer type things up here. I've never attempted something like this before, so bear with me. Tip these to a 45-degree angle. My rotational axes are all kind of messed up today. They just keep clipping back into place. I'm not sure why. And then sort of done it like that, it seems. Then one more, maybe 3 is overkill. Let's see. Try and do it without using shift. Nope. Still doesn't like it. Oh, that's actually kind of cute. We might struggle a little bit to fill in these gaps, unless the narrow wall could maybe come in handy. Oof, lining these up is going to be tricky. Oh, Shan, thank you so much for the follow. It's so lovely to see you. I appreciate that so much. How are you doing today? Oh no. This is gonna be so tricky. Actually, maybe going upstairs is useful. So happy I caught a stream. I'm happy to have you. I'm trapped. I just fell through my wall. Because I thought it had collision, but it doesn't. That's good to know. Just working, but wanted to come and lurk and watch you build. Ah, thank you. We're working on an empty stairwell room today because we've been building. That's okay, bless you. My boyfriend just sneezed. We've been building this cottage ever since early access for housing just came out. And we have never quite made it upstairs, so slowly but surely we're working on actually getting a second level. And I've challenged myself with building my own stairwell room as opposed to using the default one. Just because I had a different vision from what the default one was trying to bring, so we'll see how this goes. I hope your work day is going well. I mean, this is more or less correct. Let's just finesse it later, because I could potentially rip this down and start again in a minute if it doesn't work, so. Oh, thank you. I can show you the rest of the build in just a second. If I get this right. How did I do the rest of them? It's like something like this. There's like a gap like that, and then I need to squeeze in one last slim wall, narrow wall into this corner. These axes are getting on my nerves today. You guys should absolutely go and follow Shan. Her content is like the coziest WoW stuff you've ever seen. We follow each other on TikTok and Instagram, I think. In fact, Shan, I should follow you here now if I don't already. Oh my god, I didn't follow you. I'm so sorry. I follow you now. There we go. Her content is like a just incredible aesthetic. The complete antithesis of what you would think when you think of a stereotypical WoW player. And just wholesome vibes. I love her content so much, and you should definitely go and check her stuff out. Also, she uses a lot of green, and green is my favorite color, so it was destined. Let me show you the rest of the house. So, from the front door, we have a storage cupboard, which I just kind of built for the memes because I wanted to make a ladder. It's not functional, but I wanted a loft ladder with a fake extra level up there, which you can't actually access, but I've thrown some decor up there to make it look like you can. And just some barrels, crates, and fishing rods. I even made a little water pipe from this barrel. There's a reading nook with lots of cushions, a nice fireplace. I can really tell where my skill level has like increased over time because this is where I started. And I mean, it's fine. I don't think it's bad. I just have discovered lots of little tricks since I've made these areas. Lots of cushions, lots of books. I made this little custom table, which is technically a bench, I think, and it's got a little platter, cup of tea, and a ink pot, which you make from Dragon Isles alchemy. Here we have the kitchen. A pretty recent development here is that I have moved the room that was on the back of the kitchen, but we've got a little custom fridge because I didn't want to not have one, but I didn't want to have a white one either. I thought making a wooden one looked cuter. Bread, sink, little custom hand soap with some flowers, custom stove top with something actually bubbling away, lots of clutter, an island with some fruit and some more tea. The hand soap. Those what are they called? Elegant seat cushions. They've seen a lot of love from me. There's 2 up here as well, making a little jar, and 2 down here as well. Because if you layer them on top of each other on different sizes, it looks like a little ceramic pot. Through next to the kitchen is a pantry. I spent an antagonizing amount of time making some exposed beams in the ceiling with some vines and some nice lanterns everywhere. And then just a ton of counter space with different pantry things, fake frying pan against the wall. There's a block of cheese. There's some carrots in here. And then just storage shelves. There's technically an extra room here. Like these shelves are in another room. They're just plastered onto the end of the actual kitchen. Because I wanted to make some like built-in shelves, but I didn't have enough space. So I threw the smallest room that we had on the end and I've like bled into it, but then sealed it off. So and then a little wine press area. So there's some grapes and lots of barrels. And then there's actually like a wine cask item. This is a wine barrel. This comes from Draenor Alchemy. Under an actual keg, I thought made quite a lot of sense. And then this is the conservatory. This isn't finished, but by goodness, was it painstaking. I moved this recently. So you come out and there's a little seating area with some more greenery and a trellis I haven't put anything on. And then, flashbang warning, there are over 70 windows in this room. And actually, the closer I look, I can see a really big gap, but I'm not going to announce it. This is kind of turned into a greenhouse by accident because, I mean, there's so much light in this room, it feels silly not to put plants in it. And it's actually a lot bigger than I was expecting, so filling it with other things is proving difficult. Hi, Fauna. Saw a video where someone made a bakery with cakes made from the pillows. It was so cute. Oh my goodness. That is adorable. It's mind-blowing the things that people have created. Yeah. It's fun pushing the limits and like testing my Sims experience, you know? So yeah, this is a conservatory. There's just some plants. Everything's very bright, so I need to come through and like dye this stuff. This was gonna be Hinterland's hickory, because if you make things a darker color, it kind of rejects the lighting that's coming from these windows. So I'll just do it now. Screw it, why not? I made all these dyes for this express purpose. I've got 68 of them. There we go. Makes things a little bit nicer to look at. One day, I hope that Blizzard will just change how the light on these windows works, because that's why it's so bright in this room, is because there's almost 100 windows. And you know how on one side of them, they've got the really bright blue light, this thing? That's essentially the light that's glowing through the whole room, so... that's the conservatory. It's a work in progress. Little coffee station that I impromptu put together off stream last night because I was bored. Come through into the... Well, I should pay homage to my sweet rescue dog who passed away. He has a little section in my house with a food bowl that is permanently full, a water bowl that's permanently full. His lead is hanging on the hook up here. He's got a bag of dog treats, little memorial flowers and some candles. And then this just looks like a fake cupboard, I guess. Do you have the light changing option for level 6? Does it impact them at all? That's actually a good question. Let's find out. I do have the item you're talking about. Oh, I put it in my other house. You can get another one from somewhere, but don't worry about it. I haven't tested that. You might be onto something, because I would probably change it to like evening calm or something. Maybe that makes this room look a bit dimmer. But yeah, I lost my rescue dog to cancer a month ago. And it was very like important to me that he had a space in my house because I want to, remember him and have signs of him in WoW because I've never really had that before. And actually, now that I think of it, there's a dog pet that looks just like him, although he's wearing a hat in game. This dog is called Tobias. You get him from the Secrets of Azeroth event in BFA. No, sorry, in Dragonflight. And he looks very similar to my pooch. It's sometimes tricky to see on my phone, but this was my dog. So the fact that we've got him in in WoW, I just named him Yuki, which is my dog's name, and moved on because I was like, why wouldn't I do that? So Yuki can stay with us while we finish building today. Thank you, Shan. Yeah, it was nice to have like a little ode to him in the house, and then he also has a little dog bed in the living room full of like toys and stuff. Speaking of living room, we've got a little like writing desk, I guess, that's got a map on it currently. I made a little bay window with even more of those cushions. And I tried to like bring some more color into this room because this room's quite cool toned. I've got the like purple curtains over here. So we gently transition into like red until you come in here. And there's a nice fireplace. Managed to make use of the mug that we get from the Endeavor. Love that item. Some bookshelves filled with clutter. Pretty basic, honestly. These are just like vendor sofas and stuff. And then that's as far as we've got. We're now into this room, which we're trying to make something out of. Precious little baby. It's always such a nice way to keep their memory alive in WoW. Yeah, I'm happy I was able to make something for sure. Aw, Shan, I'm glad that you were able to memorialize your cat. That's very sweet. Okay. I have a feeling this isn't gonna work. Oh no. Let's just try. Let's grab some windows. Structural windows. If we scale these up, they're probably gonna have to be quite big. And 45-degree angle. Oh, my controls are all over the place. Okay, they can actually be smaller. It's actually kind of perfect. But I still don't want the blue. I just think the blue looks so weird. Let's make them 160. $160 works better. Let's try flipping them around. 90 degrees, preferably. Oh no, 60 is too small. Maybe 170 was right. Well, thank you, Shan. I hope you liked it. I hope your house is coming on nicely as well. Oh, I can't get it right. It's gonna have to be even bigger. 185? Should we do it? I guess we need to cover the door frame. There we go. How many sunwells do I have? What's it called? Lightwell? Oh, I've got 9. Oh my goodness, I stocked up at some point. Okay, good to know. So that way we can have 3 skylights in a row. And I'm hoping it won't look too ridiculous. I'm just going to run upstairs quickly because I'm nervous that from upstairs we're going to have to do something. I think it's fine. It's not actually interfering with the walkable space upstairs, so we can deal with covering it up later. Okay, now we go again. It's 185. Nope. Do you guys find these controls difficult to use? At times they are really tricky. I mean, at the moment we're having a little bit of some like glitchiness happening anyway because they're like snapping into the wrong places. But it's been a little bit, it's been a bit hit or miss for me today. It's fine. We're almost out of early access. Maybe they'll iron out the creases. Even the slightest movement could be too much. Yeah. It's a delicate system. I get it. It's new. Okay. It's kind of I see the vision. It's like kind of gonna look like a barn conversion type thing, I think. Which is kind of cute. Yeah, I think that's quite cute. Now, I could maybe it would have been easier to put the rugs behind the windows first, but it's not a problem. Where are we at with dye? This room has, I think honestly, just like the default blue color. I'm wondering if we do like white or like yellow. Because I kind of want this room to feel really warm. We've got 2 sungrass yellows. Oh, actually, I've got basic birch. I think sungrass yellow might be the best. Let's try it. We'll go and make more if need be. Wonder if this size is going to be enough. Oh, it's like actually super dark. That's really interesting. So definitely needs to be bigger. Okay. Let's try. Gosh, these angles are going to be tricky. Maybe with a light well it looks okay. Oh, it looks weird. Maybe we will have to go with blue. Because the window's still casting a blue light on the rug itself. And then it just makes the sky look almost like a weird muddy green color. Interesting. Okay, well, good to know. Let's try and grab that rug back. Circle woolen rug. Oh gosh, this could take a while. Found it. That's too dark. That looks like we're under the sea. We've got... It looks so weird. Everything is dark. Is it because I didn't flip it around? Oh, I did flip it around. Does this make it any different? Not really. Maybe it's because this corner, like this side of the room is just dark naturally. Oh my god, the controls are killing me. It's a little bit better, but then it's got texture. Hmm. I suppose we can do Vortex Teal. That at least looks like a blue sky. Yeah, I'm not huge on the yellow. Let's do teal instead. It could also be too dark because the rug's too close. Maybe we just need to double up. It's like here, it looks lighter. So maybe if we just put 2 rugs in one window so that we can cover up this gap here. Maybe it will be a bit brighter. Circle. Although, you're just going to see a big, like, seam where the 2 join together. They could not be more different in their color. Why is that like that? Okay, that's not going to work. Good to know. We were kind of getting somewhere though. It's not bad. It kind of looks like a cartoon blue sky, but it's wow, I guess. Makes sense. Then nether light well. this one. It can be tricky to get the angles of these right so that it's not tipping a bunch. I guess this makes it feel a little bit brighter. Yeah, I think that's okay. It's a start. I don't love that harsh line that it gets through the rug, but we can worry about that later. So we're committing to Zephyrus Blue, I believe. Or Vortex Teal, sorry. Zephyrus Blue was what I used in the wedding venue. I keep letting them go before I dye them. Circle woolen rug. Vortex Teal. Give me another light well. It'd be so funny if this turns out to not even look good. I think we're doing 45 degrees. How bright are we going? Maybe not that bright. We are going to try and get them all at the same like height, because there's only one sun, I think. At least from when you walk in, it looks cute. I think if you look up close, the the lighting gets a bit funky. Because that's not what that light well was made for. Yeah. 55 degrees. And then it's coming through the top right pane of glass. Rotating that way doesn't fix it. And neither does that. Maybe this one could come in through this window, like this side. That helps cover up any lines. Then we get a lovely like wash of color and like glow on this back wall, which is quite pretty. Okay. Something's happening. We're cooking. Yuki was just admiring the work. Oh. Little baby. Do I bother dyeing these? No, it makes it super dark. I think we're keeping it the exact color it comes in, honestly. Dyeing it seems to affect the sky color even more, so... Okay, skylights are in place. I think they look pretty good. I don't know about you guys. And then I think... let's maybe just like cut the ceiling off here. If that doesn't look crazy from upstairs. Let's go up and check. I mean, I think it might just mean that we're like blocking this whole part off so you'd never see it anyway. I'm gonna spend the rest of the stream falling down, I think. Let's just grab these quickly. What if it's scaled up enough that we only need one in a row? Is that not possible? No, it is. It makes the beams on the ceiling huge, but it's probably fine. 190 is all we really need. Let's check downstairs. We have just done this, but then it's given me a different idea. Actually, we could probably still execute my new idea. We just need to bring this along. Ideally, we need it up here. I think it does need to be 200. That's kind of more where it needs to go. Got a bit of a weird lighting thing going on from the light wells, kind of causing this wood color to be super bright compared to the rest, but not super worried about that. Oh wow, that actually lines up pretty nicely. I don't think any of this is going to matter because I think we're just going to block it off, but it's worthwhile to check. I kind of want to copy the exposed beam idea that I used in the pantry in this room because I think it would make it super cozy. Because we do still have quite a high ceiling in this room, whereas the others are much lower, if you see what I mean. So I don't want to just leave this ceiling kind of empty. I think it's okay. And then I guess the beams would come from these like beams built into the walls. We're gonna use this room like don't know how much work to give myself. The only thing I could really think that this could be is like a room for professions or a bathroom. It's quite big for a bath. I guess actually it's not that big. Maybe we should make it into a room so that it's not just a flat wall. Let's see. If we were to put a doorway, it's probably going pretty squarely in the middle. Let me line it up with this one. And then we're going to need narrow walls, which I think I might run out of potentially. Oh no, I've got 13. Although, gonna look a bit weird. Oh, it's gonna look very weird. Can I live with that? Maybe I can. Maybe it's fine. And I guess to try and match it so that it looks purposeful, we have to cross these two over as well. I think the overlap is just more noticeable at the top here. But maybe once we get some beams going on, you wouldn't notice. This definitely needs a door, because this is going to be a bathroom. Guess we can use the dyed one. And they always place this way. I think I'd rather it be this way. So it opens... Do you want it to open into the bathroom or away? There's more space for the door to open into the room as opposed to out. Because once you open it... I think in my head, like realistically, it makes more sense that the door opens into the room. Yeah, let's do that. Because also if you put it the other way around, it's going to open this way, which just feels really weird. Maybe if it opened out that way, it would make more sense, which maybe we can do by... Do you think we can tip it on its head? No, that looks really weird. Let's just leave it like that. Okay. Then supposedly we have a downstairs bathroom with no ceiling right now. Talk to me about beams. I was picturing probably one coming straight across the middle where these beams intersect. We want it that wide. Looks kind of obnoxious being 100% scaled. I think like 60 or 70 is probably nicer. Let's try 70. Ah, I lost it. Should we do it maybe right at the top so that there's a little bit more standing space? Yeah, let's do it. Scale 70. Yuki's watching very intently in the bottom corner. You see him. He's my supervisor, just making sure things are going smoothly. We'll see how this looks. I don't want it to feel like it's kind of cutting the room in two halves. But I was going to add some perpendicular beams as well. Maybe hang some like baskets with plants in them or something. Some lanterns. Typical. We're bleeding into the next room unless I overlap these. How far am I allowed to come? Till there? Maybe that's fine. It's as you walk in, so you don't immediately notice it. Or I can just commit and put beams in this room too. So I think if we just put another 70% scaled beam here, it hopefully seals this gap quite neatly without bleeding into the next room. So for some reason, there's beams in this room too. Whether this actually functions as a hallway like it is right now, or if we just block the walls off, so it's just a really narrow kind of doorway, is yet to be decided. But it's still important that it looks nice. In my brain. Okay. Then perpendicular, we're probably going I don't want to get too fierce. Maybe we do like one across this side and one across this side, asymmetrically. Oops. It's not super aligned, but I'm struggling to see how. It's like that. Yeah. Are we affecting the bathroom? Kind of. That's fine. I'm not going to worry about that right now. So maybe one there, and then the other one I was going to put sort of here. Because obviously I don't want to cross over into the windows. I wish I could cover up that seam, but I can't. It would make more sense that the beam runs into... I just pointed at the screen with my finger. I do that a lot. I don't know why. It makes more sense that the beam hits this pillar on the wall rather than covering up a seam that I've made. So I'm just going to commit and make more seams. I never used to point at the monitor with my hand. Maybe it's because there's another person in the room with me physically. It just feels more natural to physically point. You guys know where I'm pointing. And then one extra one that's going to bleed pretty far into the wall. Okay. Honestly, maybe it could just have the other two. So an extra beam coming across here and an extra beam here. Just don't want it to look too much, you know? Structurally, this doesn't make much sense. I'm sure like a builder would probably fault this. But luckily it doesn't matter. Tell you what, I'll take a break and come back with a fresh pair of eyes and we'll see if something comes to us. We have an epiphany. Be back soon. Okay. I have returned with a fresh pair of eyes and a second opinion. And I think we are making more beams. Because even just looking at it like this, it kind of looks off, like it looks unfinished. And I wasn't intending to go for realism, but if we were, the beams would go all the way across, right? We're kind of defying gravity a little bit right now. Jess, thank you for the 19-month resub. Well, she got new eyes, indeed. Fresh out the box. How are you doing today? Hope you're having a nice week. Oops. just forgot my keybinds. Does that ever happen to you when you're in WoW? Like, I don't know about WoW, but any game where you have keybinds. And maybe it's a sign that you've played it a little bit too much and done too many repetitive things in the game. But sometimes I do just have a moment where I go, what's my keybind for that? And I just stare blankly at my keyboard until it comes to me from muscle memory. Sleepy? Normal. It's, is it early for you where you are? Typically I stream. Oh, you're kidding. Typically I stream later in the day for me because I'm conscious of viewers across the pond, but I also fully understand that the time on the East Coast and the time on the West Coast in America are very different. So we weren't aligned originally, but we've fixed it. Yeah, that immediately looks much better. It does cut off the view of this skylight, but it is more natural. 1:20 p.m. I just got off work. I'm always sleepy. Oh, okay. Actually, I say I'm aware of how big the time difference is between far East Coast and far West Coast, but I couldn't actually tell you what it is. Is it a really big difference? I know America is huge, and Canada. That looks much better. Okay. Luff was right. I'm in EST, which is basically East Coast for the US. The difference there is about 3 hours. You can go much further east in Canada, but I'm not that far. I would love to visit Canada one day, but I'm fully aware that saying things like that are very nebulous because it's like, okay, where? Because it's the enormous. And obviously there's the touristy parts of Canada, which are the most popular. I'd fear at this current interval I don't know enough about Canada to know where I would visit that's not just touristy. Come visit Canada. Now I've got another reason to come, Shan. There we go. I've got Jess, I've got Shan. Got... Oh, there's other people from Canada. I don't want to get the wrong people, though. I won't name anyone. Okay, beams are in place. Come visit me in Ottawa. We have absolutely nothing. Ottawa has you, Jess. I'm literally sold. Don't worry. Some recommendations would be lovely, Shan. Thank you. Got some resident Canadian experts. Some locals. Okay. Beams. Now we need to figure out how this room is kind of laid out, because it's a very big room for it to be just a dining room. Furnishings, tables. Do we make our own table? Because the default ones are not my favorite things to look at. Oh, we could do like a table just made out of, guess what, even more beams. And then maybe like lay them on their sides for the actual tabletop. That's enormous. Let's calm down. Oh, thank you, Shan. I really appreciate you stopping by, and thank you for the follow. I'm very happy that I got the chance to follow you back. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your work day. Bye, other Canadians. No, the pillar's not gonna work as a tabletop because it's thick. What would work as a tabletop? I made a coffee table out of the weathered, weather, weather treated wooden table. I just feel like the tables are really low. All of them. Oops. I'm not going for an elven vibe. I'm not going for a blood elven vibe. I don't want too much metal. This is orcish. This is a counter. This is gnomish. This is Nightborn. Oh, see, this one's a nice height, but it's hideous. But maybe I could just put a different rug over the top. You want it squarely in the middle? It probably makes sense, doesn't it? Can't customize the color. Let's try covering the runner with a different runner. This one's like a similar shape. It's too wide. To cover the length of the runner underneath. Maybe this one. Ooh, this looks promising. I kind of like the purple actually. Maybe not. Yeah, that looks bad as well. I don't think we want a silver hand runner. Although actually it's not super noticeable. I think we're gonna have to have some overlap. This is gonna have to be quite comically large otherwise. Something's off. What's off? Another pretty hilarious part that I didn't consider is I have like one copy of every chair. So I'm gonna have to figure out what type of chair we would like, and then I'm gonna have to go and get more. Hopefully we don't love a really difficult one to get. What would fit in this room? Probably just like a really basic chair that we can then customize a little bit. That's cute. What's this? A Freywald seat. It's very little. It doesn't work, this table. Could do benches. They could be cute, and they do match. Stormwind wooden bench. No, start again. The table's too big, I think. Mm.
Yeah, he will. He will prioritize.
Maybe the weather treated table is the best option I've got. And it seems like a lot of the seating is designed at a similar height as these tables, so I think we are just going low. So maybe we can have that fray-walled table. Fray-walled seat. Is this like rustic? Is that cute?
Yes.
It is quite cute.
Yeah.
You can't customize it, but maybe we could make the table try and match the color of the chair. Little bit tricky. It's kind of close. It's a fraction light. I don't love that. It's almost got like a green tint in it. Honestly, Heartwood's not too
How
bad.
was every drama?
I'm so boring. I literally have used Heartwood everywhere. Before I get too invested. Show me how difficult it is to get a Freywold seat. Freywold, that sounds like Wildhammer clan or something. Freywold seat. Oh, it costs resonance crystals. That's tough. It's from a vendor in Kazalgar or Isle of Dawn. Yeah. Oh. How many resonance crystals do I have? Probably not many. Legacy, War Within. All. Oh.
Yeah.
It costs 300. My druid apparently has almost 3,000. What would we get? 6 chair or 5 chairs? 6, 300. Oh my god. Hey! 6 chairs total, which means we need to buy 5. 3 on each side. Maths.
Just avoid the drama.
It says that my goblin priest has resonance crystals, although I did delete her. So I'm actually a bit tempted now to just go and check. I might undelete her. Oops. Oh my god, could you imagine I delete my main? Reset. Hey girl. Restore this character. You can only undelete one character every 24 hours. This will be so funny. I boosted this character, or yeah. I had a level 70 boost. Level, I guess it would have been 60. I can't remember.
Champion.
It was one boost or another. She's level 80. I think she must have been 70, yeah. And I guess they give you 5,000 resonance crystals when you start. All War Within, or currencies. Elaviv. War Within. I think you're lying. Wait, War Within. That's not right. That is right. Resonance crystal 0. You lied to me. Well, goodbye, Elaviv. Let's go, I guess, to my druid. Save the travel time on my panda. Donegal. Like my pedal feet's lovely hearthstone. Added another hearthstone to my collection from Lovers in the Air. And then this vendor is in like the south. Okay, the copy and paste did not work. There we go. Oh dear.
Even though the core way is usable again.
Cinnabar, that's a cute name. Have you guys locked in your mains for midnight yet? I think early access is
In this season,
a week today,
unbound
if I'm not
adorn
mistaken.
their ramileths with flowers, symbolizing
She's
harmony
inside.
and their gratitude for nature's gifts.
I remember coming here vaguely. Where's the vendor? Cinnabar. She's not inside. I'm a fool. She is? She's just in a different building. Oh my god, I'm blind. She isn't. She is, in fact, outside. Okay, I do have 2,950. Reward feet. I can afford 5. 300 times 5 is 1,500. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Transaction complete. Come again soon.
Resonance crystals, I will not miss them. I was not prepared for quite how many decor items were going to cost resonance crystals.
Yeah.
Because I always sort of treated it as the currency in the War Within, where it's, oh, you probably need that to buy something from a renowned quartermaster, but don't worry, you'll have loads. I didn't have loads. I played this expansion a lot. I didn't collect a ton, and I guess like weeklies and stuff is where the majority of the currency is coming from. I did not have as much as I thought I did. I was going through War Within vendors, doing a tour of them to get decor, and I quite quickly realized, oh, I'm going to run out. Hi, Yuki. So maybe like place the chair closer into the table. That works nicely. Maybe we could even put little cushions on some of them to make it look like we've padded them out. Let's rejig this a little bit. Should we have them super neat, or should some of them be like a jar? Maybe this one is faced inwards a little bit. Maybe this one is pushed out slightly and facing the other way. Looks a bit more natural, homely, used, lived in. Fits kind of nicely, at least for her. I'm sure lots of other races would be a little big for these seats, but that's all right. If she's hosting a dinner party, then people who struggle to fit in these seats can bring their own seating. I don't know. We push one chair like super out, as if someone's just got up from the table. It's less neat, but I think I prefer it.
Yeah, but not even that. It's probably good.
Just, yeah, a little something. Maybe we'll move them back if I realize that it's annoying me that they're not all uniform, but feels a bit more natural this way, I guess. If I were to add any cushions, I think we had to go to Suramar. I don't really want to keep using these elegant seat cushions. I was thinking more like these types of things, but to be fair, they're not customizable, which is a point against them. Yeah, it doesn't need cushions right now. We also should probably like get some more cushions before. I guess out of curiosity, how does one of these look? I think I don't love that it is round for this particular thing. Like that just looks really strange to me. Although it could go leaning up against the back. Maybe that makes more sense.
Yeah.
That looks nicer actually. I don't mind that. Yeah, that looks better actually. I'd probably make this room... It's going to have some plants in it, so probably earthy tones. Greens, oranges, or greens, browns, I guess. Grizzly Hills green would be good. Grave moss green. Could even push to a silver sage, although it's a little bit light. Okay. Maybe we just do seat cushions then. I just 180'd on myself, but it's okay. We've got a table. I've seen something that people do for dishes, which is quite a nice idea. They take the circle rugs, keep them face up, shrink them all the way down, I think, is probably the best idea. And place them on the table. Now, I kind of like the idea of a placemat. Basically, the trick people do is take this and then make it bone white, or probably like highborn marble, something like that. And then from afar, it looks like a plate. I think that's really cute. I will probably replicate that. But I also don't want the tabletop to just be bare. So I'm wondering if we can get some kind of rug, a slim one to run down the middle. But we're a little bit thin on the ground in terms of rugs currently, customizable ones.
Like random.
That's pretty, but I don't think this room's going to have red in it. We can try... That one's going to be too wide, I think.
The actual
I wish it were slightly longer.
yeah.
Guess all that's left is maybe this purple. But again, not quite big enough, maybe?
No, no.
Maybe it's okay.
That game was this. Okay. So it's
Yuki, you're being rude. I'll probably line these up more neatly, because you would do that on purpose, wouldn't you? Place dishes out as neatly as you can. I suppose by that logic you would place seats as nicely as you would as well. But maybe this is inferring that all the food's been eaten, all the plates are magically clean. Licked clean. I'd love some cutlery items. Don't know what we've got that could replicate that at the moment. I think we might just have to wait.
like that, yeah.
I've got enough dye to make this work. Hopefully it doesn't look bad. There we go. There's some plates laid out on a table. I guess since we can't customize this Shaldore rug, we either bring in more purple in the room, such as potentially in the cushions, or I guess green will complement it. It's going to end up looking a little bit night elven, which wasn't the vibe I was going for. But maybe we lean more like brown as opposed to green, because brown and purple work a bit nicer together, in my opinion. Maybe some Ratchet Rust or Hinterland's Hickory is even nicer. It's kind of in between earthy and red, I guess. It's got a little bit of purple seeping through. I won't apply it just now because I'm not set on the idea. And then I guess, do we have any food that we'd like to serve? Probably. We just put it all out on the table. Lobster. We've got Hungry Man's platter. That one doesn't really fit quite so well. We could do the roast. What's this? River Beast. Oh. The lobster's kind of cute. Oopsie. Okay, there's some food laid out. I don't think we're gonna do like the takeout or the noodle dish. Actually, maybe we could do the noodle dish. I was considering a little vase of flowers in the middle, but then that makes this look a little bit off kilter if we don't make it symmetrical. Let's see if we can use... I'd quite like one of the vases from High Mountain. It's gonna have to be pretty small. Do we do a vase or do we do candles? Let's see. Small foliage. Maybe just some poppies. Yuki. I just put some poppies somewhere. I have no idea where they've gone. Small poppy cluster. Unless
Yeah, of course,
unless
like
I
that.
altered out of it. There we go. Try and layer them a little bit. Different sizes, different heights. Make them look a bit more like a bunch of flowers, a bouquet.
I just kidding. That's it.
It looks a bit weird. The flowers should probably be bigger. Maybe we'll just leave an empty vase for now. Could also use our draken vase. It does actually work quite nice as a centerpiece on a table. I just find that green color that's almost blue slightly strange. It's okay. There's all sorts of colors going on right now. It's something.
Yeah, Wrath this way. Awesome.
Okay. What else could we add into a dining room? We could add a little like bar area. Could be cute. I'm also wondering if we maybe add some like wallpaper, put some rugs up against the wall to change the actual color of the walls. Or we do have the cottage wall. Maybe the cottage wall can go on the back. This is a custom wall, so I can't actually customize that. Meaning we should probably put a pillar. Okay. We can use a cottage back wall probably. Maybe this wall could be a cottage as well. Cottage. No, because I can't fit a beam in this space. Actually, I could. But I only have one pillar left to my name, I think. I need to go and buy another one. Or several. Maybe this entire wall could be an accent of its own. Or maybe we're doing too much. What happens if we put this over here? So we need... What is happening? Bye! We would need 2. Why is it doing that? These are angled funny, maybe. Oh well. I think we'd have to commit to the entire wall, probably. But I mean, what would we do? I did Silver Sage Green in the wedding venue, which is a really nice color. Yeah, I think that would probably look quite nice in here. The others are a little bit dark. Or we've got... like orangey colors. No, I think Silver Sage Green makes sense. I've only got one. Okay, something to consider. We do have a Pandaren bar, but I know you can't customize it, which is a real shame. I was thinking maybe a bar could go in the back corner. Could even raise it up onto a little platform so that it's a bit more interesting to look at and is kind of like a feature in and of itself. Maybe if we raise it up kind of a half step. Although I probably would only bring it out to about here. So so that we're not interfering a ton with this doorway. Or even, could we use this and have a angular step? It's a lot bigger than I was expecting. What was I picturing? A smaller, like a smaller width, I think. Up to there. Get away with just a small square one here. Let's see. 50? I think so. It's kind of janky if you look at the details, but maybe we can use a beam just on this kind of seam here. So that it's a little bit neater. Let's try pushing it a little bit. Actually, the raw corner looks better, which is annoying because I'm then not going to be able to put it off. We can do it like that, and then we're probably... I was picturing putting a bar like all the way up against the border here anyway, so we could probably cover it up. Making a bar, would we make our own? Probably. So I'm not thrilled about the tables. Although maybe this is okay. I was gonna put it like here. Ish. It's the only one I've got. I think this works. At least, you know, for something. Maybe we don't need to use the same item like 2 or 3 times. Curious. There's another table type with the same style. Like this is pretty close. But I'm gonna struggle to make it fit, I think. Also, it's excruciatingly low. Gosh, this is just like my dog in real life. He loved to get in under your feet when you're busy doing things. This could be something. That clipping is a nightmare, though. This is going to be ever so slightly the wrong color. It kind of is, but we can dye these two items to try and match. Could be cute. This is kind of like my desk, my IKEA desk with the one stand of drawers. How does this look in Heartwood? That's a bit more forgiving, I guess. Any other colors? Oh. Warm teak? Oh, this is hard. It would be nice to either be able to customize the kind of basic structural pieces or give us dye colors that match those pieces. Because it exists, because you made it that color to begin with. Warm teak isn't bad, but it's also like barely changing the default color. I think we'd have to commit to Heartwood. No, it looks bad. I guess the metallic part can be a pretty different color because it's metal, not wood. Maybe that could be like copper? It needs to be a pretty muted toned brown. I guess kind of like that. I kind of pictured the bar being darker. I'm committing to Heartwood. Think it will look okay. Once it's more furnished. I don't know whether we should keep that in or clip it through the ground. Because that makes it pretty low. No, I mean, for her, it is the right size. Maybe we should just sink it down a little bit. Yeah, that's a cute bar. I have a nice bar back item that's in the other house, frustratingly. That would probably fit quite nicely along this back wall and save us some decor budget in like making our own bar stand in the back type thing. I don't think I've got many like drink items at the moment. There's a green bottle of something which lets out fumes when you actually place it. That's probably not ideal. Severe lack of glasses, drinking glasses. Food and drink. We've got a cauldron. It's not quite gonna work. This is the Pandaren pantry. I mean, it's lovely. Actually, much bigger than I thought it was gonna be. But this room's gonna be kind of natural tones, and we can't customize the pantry, unfortunately. There is a wine press. That could be a good start. Ornamental. I bet this could look like a herb that you would maybe put as a garnish on your drink, like if you shrunk it down like that and put it in a pot of some kind.
Oh yeah.
You can do that. Probably put that in the back though. Let's grab that vase from earlier. Just for science, let's maybe make this fractionally smaller. It's pretty adorable. It looks like Hick from not How to Train Your Dragon. Fantastic Beasts. It is clipping fractionally. It needs to be a tiny bit smaller. It kind of looks. I mean, it does look like a herb that belongs in a garden. But you know how at bars they have, mint and things to put in mojitos and whatnot. It's not going to live there. That's not really the place for it. Ideally, it would go shelf. Let me quickly grab the bar item that I'm thinking of from the other house. I'll get one of my other characters to go so that I don't use my teleport. It's in Mischief Mansions.
Check that, right.
Honestly, I think all my wedding venue content is finished, so we can actually do a super satisfying thing Here's the wedding venue in case you never saw it. There is a full speed build of it on my YouTube channel as of right now. And a VOD on my VOD's channel of like the start of us building this. When I'm finished with a speed build room, I just go into the house editor floor plan and just delete the whole room. I'm using the one next to it. Goodbye. Will that work? So now we should have the Arathi bartender's shelves, which is the item I am hoping to use. Although, again, you can't dye it, but I think it will be okay. It's a slightly reddish tone. It's more red than I would prefer compared to this heartwood color that's a bit more kind of cool tone brown. I don't know if you see what I mean, but it's going to fit really nicely in this space. There's so much metal on it. Ugh. I'm trying to hide it as much as I can. Try to align it as best as we can with the rest of the bar. Can I get away with, like, not really. Sinking it that far down. Maybe we could do... some beams across the top. Used so many beams in this room, it's outrageous. Ew, it's even got like mold on the side. Maybe this is better. It's a tiny gap at the back, but... maybe this is the best way to hide the slightly ugly bartender shelves.
I don't know if I will.
Oh, Lee, thank you very much for the Prime sub. I appreciate you choosing to use your Prime sub here. Thank you. That's very, very kind of you. Enjoy your emotes.
Oh yeah. Me. That's a
I guess these need to be the same size as the ones we placed earlier so that they don't look super off. Waiting for my Twitch Prime to come around. Oh, had it ready. That's very sweet of you. Thank you. What am I doing? I'm trying to block off these shelves. Is this gonna look okay? And then honestly, it's gonna just do this. Like, layer these on top of each other. Or we could add more shelves, but I think just blocking this off makes more sense. To be like fractionally bigger. Bring it down. I'm honestly tempted to bring it all the way down to here. The less metal I can see, the happier I am. Oh dear. 105. Oops. Okay, so it looks kind of bad actually, but maybe this is a situation where we can just use some ivy. I don't usually like doing this in the interiors of my builds. But needs must. Because this is a bit strange looking. It's also floating. I think ivy will right a lot of our wrongs here. Make them different sizes. Let's not repeat. Let's go down a little bit. Almost looks like a heart, or a heart in the making. One more for luck. Oh, this is tough. What are you doing? That looks immediately better, at least. What about a little cascading ivy on the top?
Because he has one.
It's all right. It could be better. You don't think this is a place for one of those horrible animal heads, do you? Or like a big emblem above the bar? Like that covers up so many wrongdoings, but I can't bring myself to put that there. I just can't do it. We've got some shields. That doesn't look great either. Tiragard emblem. Not loving that. Maybe a banner. Skyhorn banner. Nope. Blood totem banner. Nope. What could possibly go above the bar? If that didn't have fish on it, it would look, or like shellfish on it, a starfish specifically, it would look better there. Or maybe I'm just deleting it. Got lots of banners, we've got some mosaics, just none of this is quite the vibe. The whole house just feels like such a nice cozy vibe, and then you come in here and there's a elk head. This is what you would find in a commercial bar, I fear. Let me pop this in the back. That's kind of cute. Show me the cupping. Oh, that's quite sweet, I suppose. Something is not right here. I think I've gone a little bit overboard with the pillars. But maybe I should just leave it for now, and we can come back to it another time and finesse it. But you get the idea. There's a bar going on here. I guess the only other things I would put is like some bookcases, some extra seating, some nice ambient lighting, and some plants. So basically the exact same as every other room in the house so far. Speaking of lighting, string. We've got 16 of these, so plenty to use. And we definitely will. They're probably going to go like in these gaps here. They fit quite nicely, although they need to be shrunk a little bit. Even more. I think 80 is the sweet spot. We just do like rows of them.
Yeah.
This side has the two that way, so I'm going to rotate it the opposite way. so that there's 2 on the other side. And then it goes down to 80. That's quite sweet. Maybe this side just has 1 row. I don't want to go overboard because we're going to put some hanging baskets as well, I think. Had those Thelsamar hanging lanterns. Those would probably go very nicely in here too. Way too big. Could they hang from the beams? They probably could. The ones from the beams need to be tiny though. That one was 40. Let's maybe make this one 50. Just so there's a little bit of a difference. I was doing this in the wedding venue. I feel like I'm reheating my own nachos. Maybe a big one hanging from the actual ceiling. It's going to be tricky not to clip it a ton though. And I'd like it to hang all the way down like this. Which means we probably need to put a pillar or something to act like a beam. Oh, wrong one. Oh, that looks a bit weird, actually. No, I take that back. That's weird. I guess maybe this hangs down from the beam. Off-center to the table, but that's okay. All of the beams are. That's better. I'm not really bothered by that not being centered. I think that's fine. But then maybe one of these needs to move. Maybe put a really big one in the back. There's a nice big gap here. That's that light at 100% scale. It's okay. I could have it down even lower so that you see the chain underneath the beam. But you get the idea, and it's not then that there's 3 lanterns all hanging from just the beams. We've got some in the ceiling too. And maybe we can afford one more from the ceiling, like up here. They're all different, but I love it. Okay, maybe that's fine. Don't think we're doing any more lanterns right now because it's a little overkill. But you get the idea. I think the next thing we'll try and work on, I'll see if I do this off stream to save the fiddliness of it. I love making wreaths on beams like that. I did it in the wedding venue and they look stunning. This space just needs more greenery because right now it's very bland. It's all beige, it's all brown. I'm not thrilled about the rug on the table. In fact, I'm going to actually remove it for now. I'm going to remove this cushion too because this room should lean more green than the colors that have been going on recently. So I think once I've got enough dye, we will make this feature wall a nice silver sage green, which will immediately make the rest of the room feel greener, basically. And then with the foliage, like with the wreaths and everything, we'll just continuously build more green into the room, I think is the vibe. But for now, I'm going to wrap up my stream here. Thank you very much for joining me. I'm hungry. My brain just like didn't finish that sentence because I'm thinking about pizza. I hope you enjoyed. I've been very much in the mood to like work on this house as much as possible. I had someone comment on my recent video, the speed build of the wedding venue, that they'd like to see a full house tour of this house. And I would love to do that, but I think I want to do it once I'm kind of finished with it, which no one can say when that will be, but at least when we've got every room that's in my head illustrated on the screen, and then, you know, final details before we do like a grand reveal for a YouTube full house tour. I thought that was a lovely idea. I had thought of it previously, but obviously with it being unfinished, I didn't want to post it yet because I want to post it and feel like it's a big milestone of like the first time I feel like I've finished the build. It will constantly evolve because especially as of this time next week when Midnight is out and we've got a ton more decor, there's probably things that we're going to substitute in and out, and we could even be inspired to delete an entire room to replace it with another thing or add extra rooms. So I'm trying not to go at it with the methodology or thinking that it will be finished because it's evergreen and I don't want it to ever be finished because then it's like a whole section of content that's just like done. So maybe we do another housing stream this week. I've got a stream tomorrow and a stream on Saturday, and I'm kind of interested in bouncing between two things. Continuing on this house and like finishing some little last collecting bits from the War Within, because once we're into Midnight, I'm probably not going to revisit the War Within for quite some time. Because we've got lots of legacy content that we are collecting from instead. War Within's kind of end of that list now, with it being the most recent. Anyway, all that to say, I am back tomorrow at 4 p.m. GMT. I hope to catch you then, but for now, I wish you a wonderful rest of your Thursday and hope to see you all again very, very soon. Bye.